Hey guys, Sherm here, and today I'm going to be testing the Lamborghini Veneno in multiplayer in Asphalt 9 at 1 star, the star that I got it at. Now the interesting thing about this is that I am going to be using this in the Lamborghini Veneno season, where people with Venenos of all stars and upgrades can play here. So most of the cars that I'm facing, if not all of them, are higher ranked, higher starred than I am. Some are even up to like 3,900. I've even seen some above 4,000 in this season. So given that pretty much everybody in this season had a higher star Veneno than me, I wanted to see just how high in the rating and the rank I could make it. And in this video, we will see what the highest point I got to was. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, because we are now less than 75 subscribers away from 33,000, where I will upload my 7th Asphalt 9 music video, and I will most likely do a premiere like I did in the previous time, so be sure to hit that bell if you would like to see that right as it comes out, and enjoy the video. So in this race, we were facing a 2-star, a 3-star, and a 4-star Veneno, so pretty much all of the first 4 stages we get to see in this race, and somehow I managed to get pretty far ahead of them. They were quite close to me for the first half of the race or so, but then they just dropped behind, and I'm not entirely sure why. But thanks to that, we are able to take the victory in this first race here. In this video are 7 of the best races that I feel like I had in this season. Now, this car is not the most fun to drive. It's kind of strange because given its stats and given its max performance, which I did make a video about, by the way, in the max free try season previously, this car looks fine. Like, it's a low S-Class car, but overall it is an agile one, and honestly, most of the time it's nice, but there's an issue with it. It has very bad glitchiness on ramps in particular. I have had so many times, more so than this car with really any other, where I'm going up a barrel roll and I just do a front flip or a back flip, or I go up a ramp and I just randomly flip on my top or something like that. It was like that at max. It's also like that at 1 star as well. That doesn't change if you star this car up. Now, I'm sure some of you may be wondering, well, if I already did a max review of this car, why am I doing it at 1 star? Well, a lot of people in my comments on previous videos when I asked about this did want to see my cars that I got in the seasons and not just the max free try ones. So I will most likely end up doing this with the Jesko especially whenever I'm able to get to Legend League next, and perhaps with some other cars like the Cyan, which I also got at 1 star, but only made a video about at max in its max free try season again, kind of like the same thing with this car. I might do that with a couple of other ones as well, but we will see how it turns out. So here, we nearly catch up to this guy at the very end of this race. I bump him from behind, think I'm going to win by going under him, but he comes in just ahead of us, and we come in 2nd place, but it was extremely close just by a couple of frames. One side effect of only having a 1-star car is that you can't actually change the color anything past the official colors. So that's why I have not been able to make this car purple, and why I cannot make the Cyan purple, and other ones like that. But the reason why I didn't 2-star this car is because I knew the Jesko was coming soon, and so I decided, yeah, it's not worth it spending a few hundred tokens to star up this car when the Jesko is going to be coming soon. I want to have as many tokens as I can to spend on that one. See there, right back there, was one of this car's weird little glitchy things. Like, I just landed and it almost flipped on its side and wrecked me. Thankfully it didn't, but I think it did slow me down a little. It didn't allow me to go up the barrel like I would have liked. I don't usually flat spin here because I find it risky, but thankfully I was able to fall off right at this barrel. I'm able to go up and then land right where I'm supposed to. Sometimes that doesn't always happen. You guys have seen in my previous videos, I usually just like to drift around that corner and not go for that risky route with the barrel, because it is a little bit risky. I mean, it saves you maybe a tiny bit of time, but it would lose you a whole ton of time if you didn't make it. And I've seen far too many people wreck there, and I win because of that, for me to take the chance most of the time. In that race, we beat a 4-star Veneno, but in this next race, we are facing a 6-star, over 4,000 rank, almost completely maxed Veneno, against my little 1-star Veneno on a track where the better handling of the upgraded higher star Veneno could come into play. But you know, I found something kind of interesting in this season. While the higher rank Venenos were definitely faster and better than mine, they weren't as much faster and difficult to beat as I thought they were going to be. I mean, in this race here, you would have expected that other one to be getting way ahead at this point, and I was messing up all over the place, so I didn't even get a barrel at that one point, or either of them really, although I think a lot of that is because of this car's glitchiness. But yeah, even after all those troubles, we're somehow still in first place ahead of him. Maybe he was having some troubles too. It's just strange to me, because this happened multiple times throughout this season, and I never quite figured out why. But races like this, where I was beating a very high-ranked Veneno, did give me hope that I would be able to get a pretty high rank on the leaderboard, at least at some point during this season, in my one-star car. And the reason why I say at some point in this season is because usually what happens, like this happened back in the Aventador J season, where that car wasn't maxed, is I'm able to get to pretty high, maybe around top 100 rank or so, and then for some reason, everything just goes downhill. Like, I get a good streak of races, then all of a sudden I just get a bunch of bad ones, and I lose a ton of rating. But we did win this race, beating this nearly maxed Veneno, and we are above 1300 rating now. My goal in this season was to try to get to Elite League if I could, because I knew that that was pretty much as high as most people are going to be able to get. Not a lot of people are going to be able to make it up to 1700. For most people, I think that 1400 is probably their goal in these kinds of seasons, so I made it mine. But I found that in my races, as I went up, especially as I got above 1300, the other players I was facing became more and more skilled. Now, what was interesting, I wasn't really finding higher ranked cars higher up in the season. It's just the people themselves were getting better, and that really just goes to show, like, the driver makes a huge difference in the car. You can't just have a super high star car. You have to know how to drive it well, and how to drive that specific car well too, because there are some cars in this game that you have to drive drastically different than other ones. Now in this race, I was facing 4 other Venenos. I believe a 3-star, a 4-star, a 5-star, and a 6-star, with just one ahead of me here that I managed to go right over there, but I knew because he was faster, he was probably going to catch up. And throughout most of this season, I didn't really get knocked down, which was kind of strange, I thought. Even in times like that, where he went right on top of me, like there again, with Shockwave going on top of me, and no knockdown. Pretty nice, I must say. He flew past me, but then he got hung up on a bit of the grass over on the side, allowing me to get ahead at the very last second to come in first. And I don't know quite what he wrecked on, but yeah, we went up 22 in that race to bring us to 1329 rating, which brought me to position 92 on the leaderboard. So I got top 100 in the season, at least at a couple points. I may have made it there 1 or 2 other times as well, with just a 1-star car, which is probably going to be my goal for other seasons in which I have a very low-ranked car. In this race, we are facing a 4-star Veneno on Osaka, on a variant with almost the same starting point as the final round 3. Now, we're into final rounds 4 now, so over halfway actually, through the SC18 special event. Currently, I am at 4th position overall, and I have to get top 5 because I'm in tier 2 in order to win the car guaranteed. I think I should be able to do it without upgrading to 3 stars, and I will actually only probably be able to upgrade to 3 stars in the final round. So I'm hoping I don't have to do that, because that would cost me another 1,500 tokens, and I would rather save my 1,500 tokens for whatever the next special event is going to be. But overall, I would say it's going pretty well for me, although I wouldn't be surprised if I end up at 5th position in the event, although I do not think it's going to end up being the same sort of terrible situation that I got in last time with the ESCO event. That actually turned out well, but who knows if lightning will strike twice. There he runs into a problem toward the end of the race, allowing us to pass him and come in first. In this final race, we are also going to be on Osaka, but we'll be facing a 5-star Veneno to end it off. And now it is time for my general review about this car. Honestly, I would say that although it is a fine car for multiplayer, it's really not all that worth spending many tokens on. The reason for that is because it's not really much better than some other lower-end S-Class cars, because remember, it is toward the bottom of its class. And really, cars like the Lycan and Icona are probably even slightly better than this one. And even the Egoista, while it's probably pretty close in terms of performance, is a lot more stable than this one. And I think that is really the one thing that drags this car down more than anything else. It is just not stable enough to be a reliable car for multiplayer, no matter how good it may drive, because it does drive decently well. At 1 star, I would say its nitro is probably its biggest strength, with its top speed handling and acceleration being adequate, but not amazing. Now, I thought I had had gotten away in this race, home free pretty much, but then I drift a bit too late, hit the wall, and lose a bunch of my speed, and I don't think he hits the wall, because that makes you lose a lot of your speed right there, so try not to do that. He catches up surprisingly fast throughout that section back there. I think that's probably due to its better handling stat, allowing him to maintain a higher speed, but it isn't quite enough for him, and we come in first. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt and other games content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!